Hey y'all, Bloodwing here, back to bring some grumpiness to the internet. Welcome to Redneck Radio, the show where you always get a side of bacon with your snark. With me, as always, is Irate Bear.
Hello. I hope we're well this evening.
I'm feeling a little under it today, but I'll manage. You?
Yeah. So I have to admit something.
Yeah,
Well, you know how I quit Monsters like a few months ago?
correct.
Well, I started drinking them again, and
Uh-oh.
yeah, and then was wondering why I couldn't sleep. But then it got bad again, and I had to quit them again yesterday, and my body's in the process of purging it from my system, and it has not been pleasant.
It reminds me of something I'm going to tell you in a minute, but I want to address something in the chat. Dr. Malik, sorry to trigger your Asperger's. You know, I was a whole minute late. Oh my God. He's a minute late. I'm joking with you.
Kyla's giving me some shit there saying, all right, Bear, I saw you had Ed on GPP last night. What have we learned? But it was a good guess. It was a good guess.
The other morning while I was on my drive to go get the grandkids for school, I was listening to the radio, listening to Bob and Tom morning radio. And one of the cast was wearing a caffeine patch.
Oh, wow.
Like a nicotine patch, but it's caffeine. He was trying it out. I guess he's a big monster. Chick McGee. I guess he's a big monster drinker.
I'm not that bad, bro. I need to have a caffeine patch.
He was reading the ingredients and the instructions, and it blatantly says on the label, this has not been certified by any medical, no testing. It has all the ingredients that Monster has in it.
Yeah.
But it goes directly into your system through a dermal patch. And
wow.
Man, was he wired.
I bet he was as well.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, boy.
I tried that. My heart might give out. I don't know.
Yeah. But before we get too carried away with too many things, I wanted to make a correction. Cynical Lindsay, I see you're in the chat. I wanted to make sure that you were here. Cynical Lindsay kind of brought me to task the other day. I said something about Robert Kraft, and I said that he was the owner of Kraft Foods. That is incorrect. He is not. He's the owner of Kraft Incorporated, which is an umbrella company for all of his holdings and so forth. But he's not connected to Kraft Food. Matter of fact, Kraft Food doesn't appear to be connected to the Kraft family at all anymore. So I did say that. I made an assumption there, and I apologize. However, the other part of it, and I even said that I didn't think that he was. I don't know what his connection to Gillette is, other than what the facts are. And the facts are that the teams that he owns plays in the stadium that he owns, which is named after and sponsored by Gillette. That in and of itself is hilarious. That's still an ongoing story here in the States, Bear. There's still updates. Everything's on camera. I guess it was right before a playoff game with Kansas City.
I actually missed about 3/4 of what you said because Alfie came into here and I had to mute myself.
Oh, well, I was just making a correction on the Robert Kraft story.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But, you know, I'm a person that really tries to tell the truth all the time. I'm not a believer that everybody lies. I don't buy that because I've tried to never purposely lie to anybody. And if I find that I've given misinformation, I do try to correct it. Try to be a person of your word. Because if you're not, then what have you got? You don't.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Got nothing.
So thank you, Lindsay, for calling me to task for that. I do appreciate it. So, yeah. So how's your day been, Bear?
It's been uneventful, actually. As I said, I took myself off the Monsters and my body didn't react well to it. I didn't feel the need to go and have one or like have a nicotine patch or anything. But I didn't feel too good this morning. So when I dropped the Bambinos off at school, I came back and I sat at the computer for a bit, replied to an email, and then I kind of try to go back to bed. But because it's still in my system, it was one of those naps where you can't tell if you're awake or asleep or not.
Right.
Yeah, and I had some horrible dreams as well. But I'm all right now. I've recovered, and I should be able to sleep tonight fairly well. I'm hoping.
See,
Anyway,
you should learn to be a proper American and like coffee like I do. Then you don't have to worry about all the added ingredients in Monster. All you want the caffeine. All you want's the caffeine. You don't need all that extra stuff that they put in there.
It's I don't like the taste of coffee. I've tried some of the namby-pamby mocha choca latte things as well.
That's what I call foo-foo coffee. You like the foo-foo coffee.
Yeah, I've tried the foo-foo coffee before. I went to a little coffee stand. It was like, oh, Alex, you will like coffee if you try this. I was like, I bet I won't. And I tasted it. Tasted exactly the same. All coffee tastes the same to me. It's just, yeah.
Oh, Colleen, I am so sorry. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, Colleen also was. Yeah. So sorry, but thank you for correcting my mistake. And that's what it was. It wasn't an intentional misinformation. It just I made an assumption and shouldn't have done that.
Well, never mind. So we all make mistakes.
Yeah, yeah. But the main point that made it funny is still true. It's still there. Yes, Jen, tea has caffeine in it too, but not to near the extent that coffee does. In fact, Mountain Dew has way more caffeine than tea does.
And the thing is even though I am British, I'm not like a massive fan of hot drinks in general.
He's a closet American.
Yeah, well, I don't like coffee either, but I do. Well, I tried. What is it, Mountain Dew in New York? And oh my god, what is wrong with you people?
What?
It tastes like liquid sugar.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But wait till you have sweet tea. Now, there's a difference between sweet tea and sweet tea. You got to say it like it's one word. It's a Southern thing. Sweet tea. Sweet tea.
Sweetie.
Yeah, almost. You almost got it there. You got to give a little emphasis on the second syllable. Sweetie. Yeah. It's a Southern thing. It's iced tea. Well, no, it's sugar with a little bit of iced tea in it. Right. And I love it.
You know,
it's so awesome.
When I was a wee burn, I had iced tea out of a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty nice. But I get the feeling that there's an American version out there that is filled to the brim full of sugar.
Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely a Southern thing, because the sweet tea that people make in the North is not nearly as sweet. You can get it here. McDonald's makes a great sweet tea. Great. It's just awesome. But it's about the only thing I like at McDonald's because I'm not a big Mickey D fan. But yeah.
I do enjoy a Mackie D's. I do enjoy a Mackie D's. Makes me feel like crap afterwards because of all the salt in it. But yeah, is that why Americans don't like British food? Because we don't have sugar in everything?
Probably. We do love our sugar. There is absolutely no doubt that we love our sugar. You walk into a grocery store here, and we're talking a supermarket sized grocery store, right? Not like some little corner shop. We're talking massive. There is an entire aisle of candy, and that's not just on Halloween. That's every day of the year. A complete aisle of nothing but candy.
We have those.
And then the cookies. Oh my gosh. What you call biscuits.
And yes, Jen, I'm fully aware that our Mackie D's are different to yours.
Yeah.
But I'm fairly sure we both have the same Mackie D stereotypical trope in which whenever you go, the milkshake machine isn't working.
Oh, absolutely. Always. Always. I'll tell you what will really get you when you go to Dairy Queen and the shake machine's not working. Because that's what Dairy Queen is an overglorified ice cream store. But yeah.
I like a big tasty. And VB's watching right now. What's the meal deal that they've got going at the moment? With it's like a giant Big Mac.
I have no clue. I don't keep up. See, that's the one thing that I'm a little bit un-American. I'm not a big fan of fast food. I certainly eat enough of it, but that's because I'm lazy.
Isn't Taco Bell fast food?
Oh yeah,
And you're a big fan of Taco Bell,
I do like Taco Bell. Yeah,
even though it ruins you the day after.
I don't like what it does to me. No,
I've heard that from every single American I've ever spoken to. It's like, yeah, it's delicious, but it backs you up for about a week.
Same thing with White Castle. Love White Castle. Don't like what it does to me.
I want to try White Castle.
You'll love them, but you'll also spend the rest of the night in the bathroom. I remember when Cog visited America, he finally went to White Castle and done a video on it. And that's exactly what happened. And they ended up filming him from the outside of the bathroom. I don't know what it is about them. They're just tiny hamburgers, right? They're little tiny hamburgers, little sliders. But oh my gosh, they go right through you.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
so delicious.
Do you remember when Burger King tried to copy White Castles, like those miniature burgers that they do?
Mm.
Yeah, they weren't particularly good.
That's okay, Zero. Not everybody has to like the same things I do, but yeah.
Yes, they do.
He says he thinks White Castle is crap, and that's okay. I know a lot of people that do. They pay well, though. They're one of the highest paid fast food chains in America.
Oh, okay.
They pay really well. That, yes, Jen, that is why they are called sliders. And by the way, Jen, answer me a question while here. I am very well aware of Cryptic's ARC server. I did see his invitation to it. When things settle down for me a little bit, and I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow and all kinds of stuff. I'll get in there. But let me know what map it is, will you? Out there in chat, if you would. But yeah, by and large, I would rather have a home cooked meal than fast food.
Mm.
But I do eat a lot of fast food because I'm lazy.
Oh, Pink Carlo's in the chat there, who was annoyed with me because I didn't use the article that he sent me last night, and I apologize for not using it, mate. I did have it and I had it open, but I skipped it on purpose because I completely forgot that we were playing the Florida Man game, and I knew the story was about a Florida man, and I couldn't remember whether that particular story was in the game or not. So I ended up skipping over it just to be safe.
Sarah, you're right. White Castle does have a really good chicken sandwich, and I like their fish sandwiches with cheese. They're just fish patties, like everybody else has got. I don't know what it is about them, but I really like them. Really love them.
Mm.
That's what I have to eat instead of the sliders these days, because the sliders just tear me up so bad. I can't.
There is a topic that I'd like to talk about on this stream today, which I think is worthy of discussion.
You go ahead.
But before we do, I've noticed that you've put hashtag #BWingNews.
That is correct. We have a
hashtag.
Yeah, I've been doing some research and thinking on a hashtag where people can share news stories with me rather than clogging up my DMs and mentions, which I don't mind, but it does get hard to weed through sometimes. And every available combination of initials of my show or of my channel or whatever was used far too much to be of any use to me. So what I come up with was BWing News. It's in the description. I'm going to start putting in the description of all my live streams. So if you want to share a story with me, we have a hashtag, people.
Excellent. So there you go, guys. If you want to share any news and would like Bloodwing to go through that news on Redneck Radio, you can tweet that bit of news to BWing News on Twitter. Hashtag BWing News.
Actually, Zombie Teddy, BWing News has nothing on it. It's a fresh hashtag. I checked.
I like that Monkey's hashtag is them jacking a hashtag from One Direction.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like
I
that.
checked Redneck News. I checked RRN, RR News, BW News, BWN. All of them were being used, and recently. So that wouldn't be of very much use to me. I'd have to weed through them.
Mm.
But yeah, there you go. And speaking of sharing, please like and share the stream, because you know YouTube's not gonna. And if you want to be of any to go even further to help an old man out, the links to my Patreon and to my Streamlabs is also in the description. So yeah.
And fuck you, Pincalo. There was nothing wrong with my game last night. Shitbag. Anyway, the topic that I wanted to touch on is the concept of a content creator having a Patreon.
Right.
Because I noticed Sinatra quote tweeted Tipster. Tipster's a YouTuber who does like who does like YouTube drama news, that kind of thing.
Right.
He's pretty entertaining guy. Well, anyway, he tweeted this out saying, viewers ask for a way to support the channel. Set up a Patreon. The response, and of course, he shows some screenshots of people having a go at him for, you know, having a Patreon. And I kind of wanted to get into that topic of a YouTuber having a Patreon.
Right.
Now, there are some people out there that think that it's unacceptable for a content creator to have a Patreon and or make money from making videos on YouTube. Floor is yours, sir.
First of all, the first thing wrong with that line of thinking is they're overestimating what we make off of off the ads in the channel. Even the big guys like, you know, PewDiePie and all that aren't making what they used to and are going to sponsorships and so forth to help fund what they do. We really don't make that much off of ads anymore, guys. There was a time you could make some pretty good money off of YouTube, but that time is long past, several adpocalypses ago. Now,
yeah. Sorry, Bloodwing. What woman? All right. Sorry.
You know, Bear, that it took a long time to convince me to even get a Patreon and a Streamlabs because it feels odd to me being raised the way that I was raised. You don't take charity from strangers, right? And it took a lot of convincing, and it still feels odd to me sometimes. That's the reason I'm not very good about shilling it, and I forget to shill it. Because still feels odd, a little strange to me. But I don't see anything absolutely wrong with a person putting it out there. It's up to the individual if they want to give them money. You know, so what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I'm of a mind. If a content creator, like I think perhaps there's a time when a creator should look to do. I don't think that you should just randomly start a YouTube channel and then immediately open a Patreon. I don't think that makes you look good if you do that. But like if of course this is just for YouTube, a Patreon could be used for many different things. Many different people use it. Yeah. Hello, mum of many.
Hi, sweetie.
I think if a creator wants to have a Patreon and people want to give that creator money as a tip or support them on a monthly basis so they can make doing what they do full time, then that's their choice. I don't really think there's any criticism to be had there.
Yeah. Sarah says it's not charity, Bloodwing, it's being paid for entertainment. And that's what Bear and Cryptic and Monkey and all the others that were pounding on me forever and a day till I finally relented kept telling me. And I get that. I understand. You just got to understand that it just triggers my upbringing. I have to get past all that, you know.
And Cynical Lindsay, don't think of Patreon as Patreon and all the shit that they've been doing. We're just saying supporting content creators in general.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the conversation that I want to have here. I'm just using Patreon as it's the most widely known example. I've used Super Chats and Streamlabs as a tip.
Yeah.
People are tipping you because they enjoy what you're saying, they like what you do, they like the content that you produce, and that things like Patreon or Subscribestar or whatever other monthly platform where you can give a creator money on a monthly basis, or whether that's through YouTube's what's YouTube's things? It's called sponsorship, isn't it? Yeah.
Right.
That to me is just a way for people to go, look, I like this guy or gal and their content enough that I want them to be able to produce more of it on a regular basis and then be able to pay their bills.
Yeah.
So they can focus on doing nothing but what they want to do. And
absolutely. Now, people can be elitist about it. I've seen what was it, one of them Twitch streamers on somebody shared it on Twitter a few days ago, and she went a little too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, to the point of claiming that if you don't donate, then you're just a freeloader.
Oh, well, the thing is that clip was taken out of context as well. Just to jump in there. Somebody clipped it to make it look like she just said that.
Yeah.
But there's a bit more to it than just that. There is a bit more to it than just that. It's nowhere near as vitriolic as it was made out to be.
Yeah. Imagine my shock that
but Pokimane, that's the Twitch streamer that you're referring to.
Yeah.
She has managed to piss off a lot of people. A lot of people in the last couple of months or so. And there's actually a video done by a YouTuber called The Right Opinion. He's a part of the commentary community that I have yet to watch, that I think people should maybe consider watching at some point.
I'm getting okay with being supported financially for doing what I do. You know, and you guys have helped me out a lot. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not one of these streamers just saying, give me money and I'll be able to give better content. No, I'm probably not. I'm at maximum peak on the type of content I can do. I could get a better computer for sure. And I'm going to somehow raise money for that in the future. But it sure has helped me in reality, in an even greater way, in keeping my lights on. You know, I've paid bills. The money you guys have given me has went to pay bills for the most part and fix my truck. So yeah, it's a good thing y'all have done.
Perfectly Fair Delusion says, would it be okay if someone did YouTube and sell their art? Well, yeah, I'm fairly sure.
Yeah. I got no problem with artists selling their art.
Well, it's not so much the I do have concern with that, and that's not through like a moral thing,
right?
YouTube has like a list of approved websites that you can have in your description, in terms of making money. Like Patreon's on the list, and a whole bunch of other ones are in there. Like they even have like a special kind of like thing where you can link certain websites, and then what YouTube will do is it has like an extra shill thing where it shows all your merch and stuff.
Right.
I'd be concerned about certain links being put in the description, because YouTube struck me at some time ago on a separate channel for putting Steam links in my description.
Right.
Of my first video, and that wasn't like an affiliate link or anything like that. It was just like I made a video saying, "Oh, here's some new games coming out this month on Steam," and I linked the store. I wasn't getting paid for anything like that, and I got a strike for it. So I'd be careful what you link in your description.
Yeah.
So YouTube has a list of links that you can have of approved websites. So if you are going to have things to sell or things to make money with in general, make sure you check YouTube's approved list.
And one of these days I am going to come out with some merch. I will do a few t-shirts and maybe some coffee mugs. But I have to be careful, because my avatar that I no longer use in my videos, but the one that shows up right here on the stream and the ones that are in chat, I keep it because it's recognizable. People see that and they say, hey, there's Bloodwing. That comes from a coffee cup. So I can't put that one back on a coffee cup and rightly sell it.
No, Condemned Viking, don't feel bad for not throwing money at at anybody.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Never do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've said it all, and I mean it. Absolutely. You do not have to donate to me to be a part of the group. That's just an added extra bonus if you can. If you've got bills to pay and you can't afford it, don't give me that money. Don't do it.
I mean, I like to give the audience shit from time to time and say, "Give me money," or give someone else money.
Sure.
It's just a bit of banter, really, guys. We don't expect you to do anything.
No.
We just hope that you turn up and watch the stream and enjoy it, and maybe consider dropping a like and sharing.
I'm always amazed when people do donate, because I figure everybody's as poor as I am, and I don't have money to donate. I've not give a dime to my favorite creators because I can't. I don't have it.
I think I've made 1 or 2 donations. I think I gave Tommy C a $5 on his birthday, actually.
The only thing that we've been able to do is to give whatever it was that we give to Charlie's fund when we were raising money for Charlie's chair.
Oh, yeah.
And the wife come up with some extra money at that point. We were talking about it because we really wanted to help Charlie out, and did that. But yeah.
For those who don't know what we're referencing there, Charlie is a friend of my stepson, and his mother's a friend of me and Vanilla Bear, and he had an accident quite a while ago now, quite a few years ago, at school, and it rendered his body like almost useless. He lost the ability to use his legs. He developed Tourette syndrome and a few other things as well, and I agreed to basically try and help Charlie, and that we'd raise money for him to get a frame that would help rebuild the muscles in his legs. And we ended up raising so much, we were able to buy a bath lift as well to basically help the mum out, because mum's getting on, and you've only got one back, guys. And if you've ever done care work like me, you know how hard it can be on your back to lift somebody out of the bath.
Oh, absolutely. That's the problem.
It's really awkward as well to do. So
that's the problem we have with my father, and why we've told Dad, I want you to be able to go home, but you can't, because it's mainly my brother-in-law and I giving him care, and neither one of us can lift him. If you fall down, we can't pick you up.
Any kind of moving and handling really can mess with you, especially if you don't do the proper lifts. And how's he doing? There is a video his mother posted on Twitter, but her account is protected. And I really, really wanted to show you guys, because it's a video of him doing gymnastics. That's like his thing. His upper body strength is ridiculous. And there's a video of him basically like doing all the gymnastic stuff. I don't know the name of the moves, I'm sorry, but it's awesome. You see him flipping around and shit. It looks really good. It looks really good. But I don't know how he is doing. So I will endeavor to speak to his mother, Angela.
She follows me on Twitter. I do see her stuff, and I follow her back.
Did you see the video she posted a few weeks ago?
I did.
Good.
Got a donation, but before I get to that, Nectarsaw Collins, what about Kevin Costner to play you in the movie? Yeah, that'll work too. If those of you who don't know, me and him have been going back and forth on Twitter trying to figure out who will play me in the movie, in a movie. Which all started about a tweet of me taking a poo. Donations. Let's see here. I think Sam Elliott, though, was the best suggestion he said so far about playing me in a movie. I think that would be a perfect choice. Thank you for the very generous donation, Jaeger Pony. Cheers for the good times, but we pay them bills, and I certainly will. Thank you. All right.
Hope Not Hate's busy tweeting. For those who don't know, Hope Not Hate is one of those special interest leftist groups sponsored by George Soros, who like to go around calling people far right that aren't actually far right, and people that Nazis that aren't actually Nazis. And they like to dox people. They like to get people fired. They like to get people banned off social media sites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The scum is what they are. And that in the last couple of hours, they've decided to have a cracker and celebrate Tommy Robinson being booted off Facebook and Instagram. This comes after Tommy releasing his 1 hour video documentary exposing Panorama BBC. We don't know what Panorama is. Panorama is like an investigative, journalistic, quote unquote, journalistic TV show that the BBC produces. That's supposed to be unbiased, but it's often not. And Tommy exposed them for being fake news. And whilst he was there, he also exposed Hope Not Hate for being the shitbags that they are as well. So hashtag fuck Hope Not Hate and hashtag fuck Panorama BBC and fuck the BBC as well.
There you go. Cynical and Lindsay and Tom of Gulf City. Yeah, it was all based on a tweet about poo. I made a tweet, something like, in the latest political news, I just took a big dookie. I was very proud. News at 11. And it went from there. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you, Stargazer Nights. I'm glad you enjoyed my video on Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
I basically did like a kind of commentary, kind of reaction to Peter's response to it being Steve Irwin's birthday on the 22nd, because Google had created like a little slide to kind of like celebrate and look back on Steve Irwin's life, as you probably saw on Twitter. And Peter decided to come have a crack, having a go at him. So I made a video kind of like reacting to those tweets from them. And then I showed some of Steve Irwin's content just in case anybody wanted to get nostalgic, or perhaps maybe had not even heard of Steve Irwin before. So
yeah. Lindsay, Cynical Lindsay, did your pants fit better after that poo? Cynical, I don't, unless I go out, I don't wear pants. And it's not that I wander around in my underwear. I wear pajama bottoms and lounge pants all the time around the house. So with elastic bands. But yeah, shall we get on with the news?
If you have some stuff to talk about.
I have some. I did look at the news today and I'm like, gosh, it's all depressing and just all who cares, political crap, you know, just, I was like, I don't know what I can read, but I found a couple that we can maybe talk about for a minute, you know. And I remembered the story that I forgot from the other day. So we will have story time today.
Hey.
Last time. But this next story, it isn't necessarily the content of the story. It's the way that it goes about. And, you know, I've always been, I've said many times that mainstream media today is not news. It's all opinions. And we need to go back to the news. And this one just really proves my point. Listen to this title: The Utter Absurdity of Trump's July 4th Bash.
What?
Now, this is CNN. Shock, shock. And it's not even listed as opinion. It's analysis.
What?
Yeah. The utter absurdity of Trump's July 4th bash. Now, here's the story. Donald Trump likes big productions, big bashes, ideally to honor him, which brings me to this tweet the president sent on Sunday. Hold the date. We will be having one of the biggest gatherings in the history of Washington, D.C. on July 4th. It will be called A Salute to America and will be held at the Lincoln Memorial, major fireworks display, entertainment, and an address by your favorite president, me. I just love that. He's such a troll. Gosh darn it. You know he has to tweet stuff like that with a smile on his face.
Mm-hmm.
It goes on. It's easy, amid the near constant norm smashing of Trump's presidency, to overlook any one event. That's just Trump, you say, and roll your eyes. But consider what we're talking about here. The president of the United States is planning to give a speech that, knowing him, will almost certainly be political in nature. Well, duh, he's the president of the United States. Of course it will be. And he's going to give it on the day in which we as Americans celebrate our independence. The thing is, we already have a big celebration on 4th of July in Washington. I've been. It's wonderful. The National Symphony Orchestra plays. There are fireworks. Okay, like we can't have two. I know here where I live in Indianapolis is not even a big city. It's a medium-sized city, and we have several, more than I can count on 4th of July. Given that fact, it's not hard to see what Trump is doing here. He wanted a giant military parade in Washington on Veterans Day. That got postponed due to cost concerns and concerns that rolling tanks and other military equipment through the streets of our nation's capital might actually not be the most American thing ever. Yeah, the is written. I didn't do that. But Trump wasn't giving up that easily, particularly after being bowled over by the Bastille Day parade he witnessed in Paris in 2017. And so we have the planned July 4th bash, in which Trump is likely, as he did throughout the 2016 campaign, to weaponize the idea of patriotism. And what's wrong with that? That's what July 4th is about. American patriotism.
Weaponized patriotism.
Oh my gosh. Patriotism in Trump's world is supporting his policies without question. Protesting those policies, which, by the way, was how America was formed, is tantamount to rooting against our country. That's and do you see my point here? This is not even listed as opinion. It's analysis. News would give me the facts that we're going to have a July 4th parade and all the facts surrounding that, and let the reader decide if it's a ridiculous idea or not.
So Trump himself is going to be holding his own
4th of July bash, sure.
4th of July bash, presumably at the White House.
It's going to be at the Lincoln Memorial, which is not far.
Okay. And what that's probably going to, is that coming out of his back pocket, presumably?
I would imagine so. I'm sure he's got the money.
Yeah. And so it's a White House held celebration.
Yeah.
Why are they criticizing that?
Because there's already one. And because he's going to promote patriotism. Well, duh. That's what the 4th of July is all freaking about. From day one, it's been about American patriotism. It's when we celebrate our freedom, which, by the way, 4th of July really wasn't the real date, but it's the date we use to celebrate. Everybody knows 4th of July, even people in the UK. Bear, when an American says the 4th of July, you know exactly what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about patriotism.
That's not a salty thing either. That's actually a part of culture, rather than history. Because you don't really get taught that. Well, at least I wasn't taught that in school anyway. I just know about it because, well, American news is world news.
Yeah. What in the world is wrong with patriotism? I don't especially on holiday when that's what you're supposed to be celebrating. Your patriotism.
Yeah, nuts. How dare the president of the United States celebrate July 4th?
Yeah. And because we already got, I told them we already got one. That's for the Search for the Holy Grail fans out there. Yeah, like I said, in Indianapolis, where I live, we're just a city of almost 1 million people, just shy of 900,000 and change. And we have multiple celebrations, multiple. Everywhere you look, there's celebrations for the 4th of July, and you pick one, whatever, float your boat. Which one you want to go to?
You know everything that you've told me about Independence Day in your area, specifically in your area. Yeah. I would personally count every single redneck that walks outside his front door and fires a shotgun into the air at its own celebration.
There's no way I could count them because there's so many. It's like a war zone. Well, maybe this year I will live stream
from your window and just
right, so you all can hear the boom, da boom, da boom, da boom, da boom, da boom, or live stream the next New Year's. It is also like a war zone out there. To the point that I've actually heard, what goes up has to come down, right? It's just basic physics. So when you shoot a shotgun into the air, guess what? All those pellets are going to come down somewhere. And I've heard them come down on my roof before.
Should go up there, mate, and see if you can collect some of that brass.
Yeah. I don't mind the shotgun so much, but a bullet's larger, and that bullet's going to come down somewhere, and with a lot of velocity.
Yeah.
That's a little scary. I stay indoors during all that.
Probably safer to do that.
But yeah, you see what I mean about mainstream media, though? Let us make up our own mind instead of right from the title, the absurdity of the Trump 4th of July bash. Really? That's your opinion. And they don't even list it as an opinion piece. It's analysis.
How is that even an analysis?
That's not analysis. That's an opinion. And there is a difference between analysis and opinion.
It's not the job of a news outlet to just moan about everything the president does.
A proper analysis will still leave it up to the hearer or the reader to make up their own mind about the facts that you've put forth. Right? An opinion piece, which is what this is telling us how to feel. And we're supposed to feel that it's absurd.
Yes, Condemned Viking. I'm aware, mate. It's just that I wasn't specifically referencing shotguns. I did say shotguns earlier when someone walked out the house, but other rifles. Bloodwing has told me about the people that walk outside their house and shoot shotguns, rifles, pistols. Yeah.
Kyle says, silly Bloodwing normies can't be trusted to think. Which brings to mind another story that I looked at. I'm not going to read, but supposedly they shut down an alleged Russian online troll factory.
Okay.
That was accused of influencing the elections. They're still on that.
Oh, well, the funny thing is, mate, I can't see that dying anytime soon, because it's not just the US election that was influenced by Russian bots anymore. It's also Brexit.
Here is my point. And I do believe people are stupid. I've said it many times and I'll say it again. And people are stupid. But come on, do you really think that we can't think for ourselves? What's the most a Russian bot could do? Say this person bad, this person good. I mean, when you boil it down.
Yeah, pretty much. I suppose they could go take it like a few extra steps and pay for like advertising and things like that. But
and still, at the end of the day, we as the average citizen look at that, and aren't we able to make up our own mind? So who the heck cares?
No, you're all NPCs, I'm afraid. You literally you receive an opinion on the internet, and then that's it. It's gospel at that point. And yes, I am extremely jealous about Americans having guns. I mean, you can have a gun in the UK, just FYI. It's just extremely difficult to do it.
You got to jump through a lot of red tape. Yeah, I've looked into it a little.
Yeah,
and there are hunting and gun clubs and all of that.
Like you have to have an interview, or one or two interviews with the police, for example.
Little nigga, what did I forget? Don't forget me, he says. What did I? I'm not getting it. What did I forget? Because it's possible I could forget anything. I could forget my name and believe it.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah, absolutely. My me. Okay, well, I haven't forgot you. Okay. I don't know. God. But who cares if there were Russian bots influencing the election or attempting to influence the election? I don't care. because the most they can do is spout disinformation, and it's up to the individual to take it or not. I don't freaking care.
Yeah. It's up to you people
They
to
just can't let it
decide.
go. And you know why they can't let it go? And we all know this, because they're still salty and can't get over the fact that they won that slam dunk election 2 years ago, that they lost that slam dunk election.
Yeah, man. Have you guys started ramping up to the next one yet?
Oh yeah, I mean, you see signs of it. It's not major big time on the radio and the TV yet, but it's starting to filter in there. It's been more local elections and so forth lately than
oh, okay. Yet. When will the Dems hold their primary?
Oh, that won't be until I don't know.
It's got to be this year, right?
I don't know of the exact date, but yeah.
Because I heard Bernie's running.
Yeah, he's threw his hat in the ring.
Is he even going to survive until 2020?
Perhaps not.
Dude is old.
Yeah, he's very old. If he, by some fluke, gets elected, he would be the oldest sitting president, or well, the oldest at the time of his election president ever.
Provided he got elected, which I can't personally
Reagan was pretty old by the time he left office, but he served two terms,
8 years, yeah. How old is Bernie right now? Let's have a quick look.
He's well into his late 70s.
He's older than that, isn't he? Oh yeah, 77.
Yeah.
He's pushing it. Yeah. He really is. He really is.
Zero asks, are you trying to keep an open mind about Democrat nominees, or will you be voting Trump, if I may ask? Yeah, you can ask. I am not a registered Republican, nor am I a registered Democrat. I register independent. In other words, I like to look at all the delegates and make up my own mind who to vote for, instead of voting along party lines.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I'll be looking at everybody. Now, chances are, because of my politics, I tend to agree more with the conservative or the Republican candidates than I do the Democrats, but not always. Not always. I didn't vote for Trump this last time. Sure didn't vote for Hillary.
I'm the same with British politics, mate. Especially in the last election as well. I didn't vote for the Labour Party, but I did look at them.
Yeah.
I think I voted for a fringe party as my main option. Yeah. I think I voted for like a Labour, because you have to vote for the chief of police as well. And there's another one you have to vote for. I think it's like local councillor or something like that, and I voted Conservative for that. So I voted 3 different parties in my last election.
We vote for the county sheriff here.
Yeah.
So yeah, which a sheriff here is a little different than a sheriff in the UK. They are absolutely law enforcement.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah. Zero the Hero says, okay, cool. I'm trying to keep an open mind, but it's so hard with what they're saying and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, people get the idea that just because we excuse me, choke there for a second, primarily pick on the left, that I don't listen to what they're saying. We just pick on them out of hand. And that's not necessarily true. I pick on what I think is incredibly stupid. If I don't think it's stupid, I don't pick on it. In fact, I watched at least most of a video earlier today. Lee,
yeah, I watched it as well. Yeah.
Put out a video, 1 hour and 7 minutes. And he says that's just the first of 3 parts.
Yep.
Explaining what's happened to him, why he switched. So it's going to take him 3 hours to explain? Really? I watched as much of this one as I could, a little over half. And I'm like, this is just deflection, dude. It's all deflection. It's all Gamergate. It's all Gamergate. But he brought up that his problem with the anti-SJW quote unquote crowd was it's always but the left. It's convenient to blame it all on the left. Well, if the left would quit being so stupid, we'd quit blaming them. I wanted to scream at the screen when he said that. Like, dude, if they quit giving us content, if they quit giving us, things to yelling about being stupid, that's their fault for being stupid, not ours for calling them out.
Yeah, I mean, his video had a lot of different things going on in there.
And he defended Riley Dennis.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
I'm like, okay, it was about that point that I said, I can't watch this anymore.
You missed the good part then near the end, mate, when he decided he was going to take an apathetic stance on people getting doxxed.
It's never okay to dox people.
He now I think that specifically was aimed at people that do the doxing. Right. But even then, no, I'm still not in favor of it.
No, it's never okay to dox people. That's just a chump move. It's a chump move.
What was said?
I did see Monkey in that video, though. It was real brief.
Yeah, I saw his avatar. Yeah,
he was showing a bunch of avatars for people that do what we do, and I saw monkeys. But
there was a lot going on in that video. A good portion of it had to do with Gamergate and was kind of like explained the history of Gamergate, how it started, and how we kind of got dragged into it and stuff like that. And I know that he fired a few shots at Sargon.
Quite a few shots at Sargon.
Yeah,
but here's the other thing that I was thinking while I was watching that. Dude, I get it. This is your personal story, but you're acting like this is what all of us went through. Many of us, I know I didn't have a thing to do with Gamergate. I didn't even know what it was till I looked it up later. Kept hearing about us. What's this Gamergate?
Yeah, same really.
I got into this because I liked what people were saying. They thought like I did, and I found it important.
Yeah, I would watch Bearing. I would watch Sugar Tits. Undoomed.
Yeah.
Some of Sargon stuff, but I missed out on all the Gamergate stuff.
Yeah.
I never saw anything to do with Gamergate really before I joined. Heard it pop up a few times and then kind of learned about it later on.
Yes. So not all of us went through that, and he still didn't explain what happened to him. Because people's question, and I looked through his comments.
See, Bloodwing, if you'd watched the entire video, right?
Well, I couldn't take anymore. My blood pressure was rising, and I was about ready to break my laptop.
At the end of the video, just before he gets into like a big sort of carry on of like 7 minutes of just him talking, he explained that basically, what happened to him? Nothing. He said that's always been him.
Yeah, I got that feeling that he was trying to say he's always been this way. It's just we didn't see it because he wasn't coming across right in his videos. We weren't getting what he was trying to say. Well, excuse me, but I can remember you defending people in this genre, Bearing in particular. He defended Bearing against Naked Ape. Huge video. But then the next time you blink and you turn around and now he's attacking them. That's what people want to know. Why this sudden flip? Anyway, yeah, there's that. If you want to go watch it, go ahead, beat yourself up.
Yeah, it's a very, very long video, but I do still think it's worth a watch.
I just couldn't get to it. I couldn't do it.
I still think you should watch all of it, though, mate.
When he defended Riley Dennis, I went, oh, no, can't, nope, can't do it.
It kind of made me laugh in some ways because he kind of has this attitude where he's treating us all like we are ideologues, like we're all kind of set out on this mission to destroy the SJWs and get rid of them for good. And that's not really the purpose of what we do.
I don't want to get rid of them. What will I do for content?
It's not really the purpose of what we do. I mean, I'm sure there are a couple of people that, you know, wanna fight the good fight and change things and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to see some of that change, but
Yeah.
The idea of creating this content is to provide a counter and express yourself as a person.
Exactly.
So that then that content is there if people want to watch it.
If I started this channel for exactly that purpose, not to shut down the SJWs, but to give a counter view for people to see so that they can make up their own mind.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've said many times in my videos, don't take my word for it. You know, don't just follow me blindly and put on a pedestal. Don't do that. Make up your own mind. Look at all the facts and make up your own mind. You know?
Exactly. I mean, there was a point where I got really political. Yeah. And I got really ideological about things. I was like, right, it's time to fuck these people up. But really, you can't really do that when you're making videos. All you can really do is express yourself. You know?
The mistake that a lot of the people like Waz and others that will remain unnamed that have suddenly decided to flip and turn on the genre they were once in is that they're acting like we're all the same. And we're not all. We're just as varied, and our content is just as varied as any other group of individuals. We're not all the same.
No, we're not.
And you can't lump us all in the same group. There are some pretty racist and sexist people in this genre. I guarantee you. I know there is. But we're not all the same.
No, we're not. And but this is the thing with Waz, is that, you know, he's looking at people making Nazi jokes and stuff like that, or focusing on a certain type of content that attacks a certain group of people. And trying to say that they don't have that political belief because that's all they do. That's bullshit in my mind.
Yeah, yeah. You can no more lump us all together than any other cross section of humanity, and you're going to have bad actors in any group because you're dealing with the human factor. Humans are fallible beings. And you're going to have bad actors, but we're not all the same. I mean, neither are we disingenuous. I've seen the argument in a supposed explanation on why they hate well, both sides are bad argument, in that they find it disingenuous. What's disingenuous? And I even made that argument back at the person. Do you find me disingenuous? Well, no. Well, there goes your argument. Not all of us are disingenuous. Are there people in it that were in it just for the money? Sure. They found out real quick that this genre is not the way to get rich. That is an absolute fact.
Tiger O is a perfect example of somebody like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
But there are many of us that do it because we strongly believe in it. We really believe it's important. I guarantee you, anything that you hear me say at the time I say it, I honestly believe that to be the truth. I don't make, you know, I'm not going to be something that I'm not for your entertainment. I'm just not going to be. Even the stories that I tell, some of them might be a little hard to believe. But I trust you. I've not beefed them up or dramatized them any. Every piece of them is absolutely true. I don't find the need in being that way.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to somebody today who knows Waz about Waz's video and stuff, and you know, I said to them that, you know, I feel like that he's going to attack a lot of people, and I think that he's going to fire shots at me and a few other people coming soon. But apparently he's not. But I still kind of feel like he is. But if he does, you know, I've got my defense ready. And how many times have I been on live streams and on Twitter attacking the British Conservative Party?
Right.
You know, and I've got a video about race mixing that the alt-right were not particularly happy about.
Yeah.
And there's live streams where you've got me arguing with alt-right people in the fucking chat.
Yeah.
You know, so don't give me that shit.
Yeah. Perfectly Faded Delusions says, I would like to make videos because I want to explain mental health and talk about the SJWs using mental health to gain mental illness to gain attention. Do it. And you don't need a lot of great equipment. Dude, I've been on YouTube for 2.5 years with a broken laptop and an Xbox microphone. You
Yeah,
know?
you need a lot, really, if you just kind of like want to just make a talky video.
And probably for the first 6 months I was on YouTube, my videos were edited using the old Microsoft Movie Maker, which is free and unsupported. You know, so yeah, if you want to do it, you can do it. Do it. Audacity, Zero the Hero. I use Audacity. I've got fairly decent at it, I think, because no one seems to be able to tell when I cut. So yeah, I'm pretty decent at that. It's the video editing part that I'm not so good at. Nah, and I've come to the conclusion I'm not going to be that good at it, and that's okay. I think that's part of my charm, in that it's kind of you know, I'm a redneck, so it's kind of rednecky. That's the way I see it. But yeah, I've seen that, and it really ticked me off. I just, but you know, anyway, we'll move on. I think we beat that one enough.
I was asked my opinion of what I thought of Mark Collette.
Okay.
If you don't know who Mark Collette is, he is a ethno-nationalist Holocaust denier. He was one of the people that was on that big stream that raised money for that charity on Ralph's stream. What's it called? They called it the Heel stream, didn't they?
Yeah.
As with everybody, there are aspects of what he says that I agree with, and there's a lot I disagree with. I find him to be a little bit alarmist, and obviously, you know, he denies the Holocaust and he's alt-right, so he finds my very existence an abomination. So I'm obviously diametrically opposed to his opinions. But there are some things he says that I do agree with.
Well, yeah, there, and that's the thing. You can find somebody that you are opposed to a lot of their ideas, but that doesn't mean you're opposed to all of them. And the adverse is true too. Just because you like some of their ideas, don't mean you like all of them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I like big dogs. So did Hitler.
Well, yeah.
Doesn't make me a fucking Nazi.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Mother and daughter are charged in death of 5 relatives. Not going to read that. That's the kind of stories that today was just all full of, just really sad and depressing stuff.
Yeah.
But there was one here. Here we go. Here's one, and there's going to be at least one more. Ivanka Trump reacts to Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal, says most Americans want to work for what they get. Ivanka Trump has responded to the economic program touted by progressive Democrats and spearheaded by Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, saying most Americans want to work for what they get. The first daughter, who is a senior advisor in her father's White House, made the comments on Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal while speaking to Fox News' Steve Hilton. You've got people who will see that offer from the Democrats, from the progressive Democrats, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Here's the Green New Deal. Here's the guarantee of a job. And think, yeah, that's what I want. It's that simple. What do you say to those people? Hilton asked the first daughter. I don't think most Americans in their heart want to be given something. I've spent a lot of time traveling around this country over the last 4 years. People want to work for what they got, Trump said. So I think that this idea of a guaranteed minimum is not something most people want. They want the ability to be able to secure a job. They want the ability to live in a country where there's the potential for upward mobility, she added. Ocasio-Cortez has made headlines for pursuing the Green New Deal, which she launched with Senator Ed Markey of Massachusetts earlier this month. The bold initiative seeks to eliminate greenhouse gas pollution in the United States over the next decade. The deal also seeks to address inequality by guaranteeing a job with a family-sustaining wage. The Green New Deal's directors have dismissed it as or detractors have dismissed it as impractical, while some Republicans have welcomed it, believing the deal is so radical that it will drive away moderate voters from the Democratic ticket. I would like them to push it as far as they can. I'd like to see it on the floor. I'd like to see them actually have to vote on it. Representative Mike Simpson, an Idaho Republican, told Politico as the deal was launched. It's crazy. It's loony, he added. Hilton asked Ivanka Trump if she thought voters would face a stark decision between President Donald Trump and the GOP's capitalism versus democratic socialism in 2020. Trump praised her father's economic record, stating that Americans would respond to an improved economic situation. So as an American family sitting down and thinking about their financial situation relative to a month ago or a year ago, America is doing very well, and it stands in quite contrast to the rest of the world. So not only are we doing well, much of the world has slowed down in terms of the pace of their growth. She went on to praise her father's workforce development initiative, saying it would allow the economy to thrive. Fox's full interview with Ivanka Trump airs on Sunday, yada, yada. So, yeah, what do you think, chat? You think she's right? And I'll tell you, I agree with her. As somebody that is disabled, I'm unable to work. But I worked my entire life from the time I was 16 years old until I was, till my last job 4 years ago. As somebody incapable of working, I can tell you that I was much happier when I was able to go out and work for a living, and I had pride in what I did and brought home my own money. So I agree with her consensus. What do you think, Bear?
I agree with you, mate, to be honest. Sorry, man. I'm just trying to get my phone on charge.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And I really like what the other politicians said. I want them to take it to the floor. Go ahead. And see what America really thinks about it.
There we go. Right, I better fucking charge now, piece of shit.
Maniac Man 2030, the Green New Deal is a disaster waiting to happen. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff wrong when you start looking at what's in it, with it. But not least of which the fact that they think they're going to guarantee a living wage job, or to everybody.
You can't do that.
No, you can't. It's impossible. They're living in a fantasy. And this is one of the things. She's how old is she? What, 27?
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the things that's wrong with her being so young. I'm not picking on young people, but she's not figured out the way of the world. You only get what you work for. This is the way it works.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
All right. Anybody that bet on an hour and 10 minutes is correct, because the man has to go to the bathroom.
I was 10 minutes off.
10 minutes off. All right. Hold the stream for just a minute, Bear. I'll be right back.
All right. What's going on, chat? What's happening, everybody? We've got 80 people watching right now. I think we can do better. Let's get some more likes for the old man, guys. Come on. I think we can get around 70, maybe 75 if we push it. Come on. It's for Bloodwing. It's not for me. It's for the old man. Then what do you do? All right, Bear Bloodwing. What do you do when jobs keep disappearing and people's skills sets are becoming obsolete before they can retire? UBI is a necessity, in my honest opinion, if done correct. Well, I mean, There are various social programs that they've tried here in the UK. I don't know how successful they are because I've not kept an eye on them. That are done through our job centre, done through the Department of Work and Pensions, where if you end up on what we call job seekers allowance, that's a type of welfare whilst you're looking for work that you can go on, where you get money like every fortnight. They might pay for you to do a course in something. So you can get a new trade or whatever else. And that is a potential way of kind of like dealing with it, maybe. I'm not sure there's some kind of grant system for like going back to college or whatever to get a new skill set. But then again, there's always unskilled labor, and there's always unskilled labor positions going, always unskilled labor going. So there's your alternative, I suppose. And a lot of jobs do provide training, a lot of jobs do provide training. I know that especially if you're a veteran as well, you're likely to be hired as well for just through being a veteran. Go fuck yourself, Demon Lord. There we go. Yeah, you happy now, mate? What's going on, Gilded Liberty? I hope you're well. RJ Bansma, I got my Mountain Dew game fuel. Good. Duck Dog's done his part by dropping a dislike. We appreciate it. Yeah, but that's just saying learn to code. Well, not really, no. Here in Canada, we were going to try a UBI program, but it was doomed to start. Glad it never started. I'm fairly sure the programs at the job centre in the UK aren't like bad or anything. Like they'll give you money towards like getting like an SIA license so you can become like a security officer or whatever else. There's always options. There's always options there. Always options. And plus there's always information on the internet if you wanted to go self-employed, for example, Yeah. Perfectly Fair Delusion says, I want to work, but I can't at the moment. But I would like to make my mental health hub a job and to help people in the community. Well, go for it.
Yeah.
Have a crack. I'm not sure whether you can make that into a profitable thing. Not without working with another organization, but if you want to help people and you want to do those kind of things, then do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry that took a little longer than usual. As I told Bear before the stream, I think I've got a little bit of a bladder infection.
Oh dear.
So yeah, it took me a little longer. Oh, thanks for answering me, Jen. I didn't think you saw my question. I just noticed that there was a Twitter DM. All right. But yeah, who was it? Just as I come back, somebody wanted to know what her idea. I've lost track of it. Somebody wanted to know what her idea of a living wage was. Well, we know they want to raise the minimum wage to $15, which I've said before on this stream, and I'll say it again. That money has to come from somewhere. And it's going to come from somewhere. You can't just raise the minimum wage. It does not work. Because what happens is the company you work for has to raise the prices of their services and their suppliers for whatever services, for the materials, they're going to raise their prices to make up for it. And you end up in the same exact shape that where you were at before. It's called inflation, guys. It just doesn't magically appear out of nowhere. Raising the minimum wage will do nothing but raise the cost of living. That's exactly what will happen. It's not, minimum wage is not meant to be a living wage. It's a starting wage. You're not meant to stay there. It's just a place to start out.
And to eventually start earning more through seniority and promotions and whatnot.
Absolutely. But people that are proponents of raise the minimum wage are just, they miss that point. Raising the minimum wage, you can raise it all you want to, and it will never fix the problem. Lowering the cost of living, and I have no clue how you're going to do that, but that is the only thing that's going to fix it. It's not a minimum wage problem. It's a cost of living problem. and they are two separate items. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Zero to hero, are there jobs in your area that pay minimum wage for any job? Because there aren't any jobs like that where I live. Yeah, but I live in a fairly big city, so of course, yeah, there are minimum wage jobs. But even Mickey D's, even Burger King, and the fast food restaurants pay more than minimum wage. So they are getting rarer and rarer. You know.
Yeah, it's usually like laborer jobs and factory work that pays bugger
Yeah.
all, really.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a thing here, and I'm sure you have something equivalent over there, Bear. But we have companies that will find you a job. That company, and the company they find you a job for pays them, and they pay you.
Yeah, it's called a job agency.
Yeah, and it is a good way to get it. And I have got full-time employment from two different people in years past from doing that. It does work. You can get in to a company if you do good work while you're there temporarily working.
I hate agencies so much.
They are paying because they do pay you minimum.
And not just that, they don't need you, you need them. And they often treat you like
Yeah.
crap as well. I mean, especially well, over here, they do anyway.
But if you give a good showing of yourself and you work hard or wherever they send you to work temporarily, because that's what they do, seasonal vacancies and whatnot. You can, because I've done it on two different occasions. You can get in full time with that company. They may hire you if you do a good enough job to impress them.
Yeah, yeah. It's the same over here, mate. It's the same over here.
But yeah, things like that, they still pay minimum wage, but otherwise, not so much. It's not so much. Minimum wage is meant to be a starting wage for kids out of high school and out of college. It's not meant to be for adults to just stay at. So here's the deal, people, about capitalism, and it's what the socialists don't want because they want it all handed to them. Capitalism gives you the opportunity to make good for yourself. It doesn't promise it, but it gives you that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But because it doesn't promise it, they don't like it, because we have a generation of people now that want everything handed to them because they've never been told no. I'm feeling a little ranty today, I guess because I'm under the weather. But
I'll let you chill out, mate.
yeah.
I'll let you get on with it.
Yeah. Me and my gravelly smoke too many cigarettes for too many years voice. There was one more. Let me see. Here's a title I wanted to read. Abortion survivor. Senate Dems are willing to sacrifice lives like mine to keep abortion on demand. Because
no.
it's gone through the House now, and they defeated a bill, in the House of Representatives that was supposed to outlaw killing babies that survive abortion. But the Democrats, because our House of Representatives is led by the Democrats. The Senate is Republican led, but yeah, they defeated it, which shows that they're not for abortion; they're for infanticide. But this lady apparently was the product of surviving an abortion, and she's saying they're willing to sacrifice lives like mine.
How does one survive an abortion exactly?
If you're alive enough and it's a late term abortion, and you're developed enough, then yeah, I could see how the baby might survive it.
They just put you on the ICU.
Yeah, I would imagine they would have to go into an infant critical care unit.
Well, it's not really an abortion, though, is it? Like, abortion's supposed to kill the baby. That's just taking the baby out and putting it somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a big topic today, though. That's what they're discussing,
I did see something about that today on Twitter, but I try to avoid abortion like the plague because
Yeah.
I
Well,
get
I'm not
far
going
too
to get in.
emotional.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into all that and everything, but about what my opinion on abortion and all that is. But I am definitely against infanticide,
Yeah, 100%, as we all should be.
and as any thinking person should be. Cryptic, glad to see you out there. I said earlier in the stream, don't know if you heard it. I will be hooking up with your server. It'll probably be later in the week, but I've just got a lot going on right now. But I did see it, and I'll be getting in there. Yeah, stuff like that just winds me up. You want to kill babies? mm.
Mm.
Oh, where is that? I'm scrolling. If you've got anything you wanted to get, you can do that while I'm scrolling through the stories.
I was sent an article. Who sent me the article? Grillin' Pirate Pete sent me an article. So thank you, Grillin' Pirate Pete via Twitter. This is the ex-NJ schools chief in defecation scandal. No, wants probe of police action. Oh no. I take it NJ's New Jersey.
Yeah. You talking about states? Sorry, I was distracted just a little bit. Yeah, NJ is New Jersey. Yeah, we used to have 3 initials to most states, but they years ago shortened it to 2.
A former school superintendent who made headlines after he was charged with defecating on another high school's track has asked New Jersey's Attorney General to investigate whether police acted unlawfully when they took his mugshot and released it to the media. In a letter to Attorney General Gerber, Griel, it's spelled Gurbir. Gerber, I don't fucking know. On Monday, Attorney Matthew Adams, that's a proper name, said the actions by the Homedale Police Department were designed to create a media spectacle around the charges against Thomas Tremaglini. Tremaglini was issued summons in May after police alleged he repeatedly defecated on the Homedale High School track. He eventually pleaded guilty to relieving himself in public on one occasion and paid a $500 fine. He resigned as superintendent of the Kenilworth School District. He had a poo. He had several poos.
Yes, so.
All right, then.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the first bit of news, I guess.
Scrappy says, first abortion, you get a box of condoms. Second, you get forced hormonal treatment, and you get those tubes tied, which doesn't always work. My third child, my youngest, was born 2 years after my wife had her tubes tied. So,
what's this?
Yeah.
I've got something for you if you want it.
Okay.
It's got stupid video. Shut up. Behind the curve ending. Flat earthers disprove themselves with own experiments in Netflix documentary. I'm gonna have to give that a watch. There are many head-shaking moments in Behind the Curve, a 2018 documentary now on Netflix that follows luminaries of the flat earth movement, particularly YouTuber Mark Sargent. The most surprising may be the rigor with which believers in a flat earth disprove themselves, twice in Behind the Curve. Oh dear. Experiments showed the opposite of what flat earth advocates hope to demonstrate, with one such experiment involving a flashlight serving as the documentary's ending. Oh dear. That's funny.
Flat earthers are the dumbest of the dumb, right there with anti-vaxxers and the rest of that crowd.
Yeah. I think flat earthers are harmless, to be honest, but anti-vaxxers, they need to be kicked in the shins.
Yeah, absolutely. Their belief in a flat earth doesn't hurt anybody except their self.
Yeah.
And anybody watching it that bangs their head off the table because they're so stupid. But yeah.
That's right.
I did have one more story that I wanted to cover, and I did find it. Lawsuit accuses Trump of kissing campaign worker without her consent.
Oh, I heard about this
All right, now
yesterday, I think.
I'm gonna read most of it. Then I want to get opinion, and then I'll read the last bit. A woman who worked on Donald Trump's presidential campaign sued the president on Monday, accusing him of kissing her without consent before a 2016 rally in Tampa, Florida. A 2016 rally.
Oh, God.
Alva Johnson said in the lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court in Florida's Middle District that that the alleged incident was part of a pattern of predatory and harassing behavior towards women by Trump. This accusation is absurd on its face, White House spokesman Sarah Sanders said in a statement. This never happened and is directly contradicted by multiple highly credible eyewitness accounts. Get it to scroll. Yeah, I'll get it in a minute. Sorry, I was talking to my wife. Okay. Trump has denied charges by a number of women who said he groped and kissed them over a period of years without permission. The lawsuit alleges the encounter occurred inside a campaign RV before a rally on August 24th, 2016. While leaving a meeting in the vehicle, Trump gripped Johnson by the hand and leaned in so close that she felt his breath, the lawsuit said. Johnson turned her head, trying to avoid a kiss, but Trump still managed to kiss the corner of her mouth, the lawsuit says. Johnson claims Trump had to move deliberately because her face was framed by a baseball cap.
So, like, he was trying to kiss her on the cheek then, presumably.
She's claiming he was trying to kiss her on the mouth, and she turned her head and got the corner of her mouth.
Oh, my God. Okay.
I could see him probably trying to kiss her on the cheek because, some people do that. I don't, but I'm not even a hugger. So she felt confused and humiliated, the lawsuit said. Yeah, so much so that she waited till 2019 to file a suit. High-profile Trump supporters, including then Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi and Trump's Florida campaign director Karen Giorno, were in the RV at the time, the lawsuit said. Both told the Washington Post, which first reported the lawsuit, that they saw nothing inappropriate. Imagine that. Johnson is seeking financial damages and a court order to prohibit Trump from grabbing, kissing, or otherwise assaulting or harassing women without prior express consent. According to the lawsuit, Johnson called her partner and her parents in tears the day of the encounter with Trump and described what had happened. She said fellow campaign workers subsequently joked about the kiss after Giorno shared details. In a phone interview on Monday, Johnson's lawyers, Hassan Saveri, rejected the White House denial and said the witnesses' accounts were not credible. He said Johnson, 43, a mother of four living in Alabama, was not available for an interview and worries about her family's safety as a result of the lawsuit. Of course she's unavailable and doesn't want to talk with the press about it. Now, there's one little bit left, but I'm going to wait purposely to read that until I talk to you and talk to chat. Thoughts, first impressions of this story?
Whenever something like this happens, I always my tinfoil hat comes on a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I start to think of, is it possible that there's an organization out there, or several organizations out there, that are offering people money for anything to get Trump on?
Yep.
And I feel like that this woman was approached, by a fucking organization, and it was like, right, if we give you this amount of money, will you say this in a lawsuit to try and get the president on it?
I think he's an easy target because there's been so many accusations of him grabbing women, inappropriately without their consent, that it's an easy target. Now, come on. My first red flag is she waited 3 years.
Yeah, it's a bit long.
And I'm sorry, but if he really did this, you should have been on the phone to the authorities immediately.
Yeah, surely Trump is marginally more powerful now than what he was back in 2016.
Yeah, and I hear you. I hear the argument, but she was afraid for her job and everything. Okay, but there comes a point where your moral beliefs has to outweigh your job.
I'm sure the Dems would have got her a job. She would have been a hero.
Oh yeah, she would have got a book deal out of it, like you said, and made the talk show circuit and all this. The woman who took down Trump.
Yeah.
So please. I mean, I'm not saying that Trump's not capable of such a thing, because I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't think so. He's never showed me anything yet that he is, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah. I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, from my personal opinion, anyway, yeah. I've not seen anything.
But you know, we've thought we've known people before, and they do, and it comes out they've done really terrible stuff. You know, but you know, if it was really true, where was she these 3 years? Why is it just now coming out? And then, of course, she declines any interview out of it. She doesn't, you know, want to look bad. And in support of it, the only thing she has is things that cannot be verified. You know, she called her parents on the phone and cried, which, of course, cannot be verified with any truth. You know, and her lawyer just saying that the accounts of the people are not credible that said that it was fake. Why? Because they work for Trump? Well, it was a Trump rally in an RV. Everybody in there worked for him.
You know, this is what gets me about. I call bullshit on this. I'm pressing X to doubt, because having a crack at Trump in the current year and for the previous few years, for 3 or 4 years, trying to hammer Trump or even making accusations against him is one of the most safest things that you can do.
Yeah, exactly. Because everybody's doing it, yo.
Oh my God. And they can't even try to bring in the power dynamic, because it's not like she worked for him.
Yeah. Now I'm going to read the last little bit. If you think that this last paragraph really hammers it home for me. The lawsuit said Johnson also experienced discrimination as one of the campaign's few female and African-American staff members. She earned less than her colleagues and experienced a larger culture of racist and sexist behavior, the lawsuit said. So they've got the trifecta in there. You know, she's got the sexist rapist. Now he's a racist and unfair business dealer by paying less. I'm like, I'm with you. X to doubt.
Yeah, I'm of a mind of that. I'm calling bullshit.
And you know what? I hate that. I hate that the left is making me be that way. Because I don't want, if somebody really is telling the truth, I don't want to doubt them. But it's getting really hard to believe anybody because of all the fake accusations and crap.
Yeah, I mean, every time that I now hear about a sexual assault allegation, I'm just like, nah, it's probably bullshit. Just because of the sheer amount of them.
Excuse me a minute. Is that sweet tea? Yes. Woohoo! I got some McDonald's sweet tea. I was talking about it earlier. She must have heard my thought waves. Thank you. But yeah, that was it for me. Somebody gave me, as soon as my hands get unfull, I got to get my straw and my sweet tea. Sorry, sweet tea takes precedence over the stream, guys. Sorry, priorities.
She must have heard you talking about it earlier.
She wasn't here. She was gone picking up the granddaughter. That's our deal. I pick them up in the morning and take them to school, and she goes in the afternoon and takes them home. Liquid sugar. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Mind you, I'd probably like it if I tried it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I bet you would. RJ Banzma, I've got Mountain Dew too. I've always, anytime you hear the sound of my voice, in fact, any time of the day, I have a cup of coffee on one hand and a Mountain Dew on the other. And I started to say anytime I'm awake, but I've usually got the Mountain Dew with me when I'm sleeping. So
Not in bed.
yeah, just within reach in case I get thirsty during the middle of the night. So yeah, I really doubt it. But we've got a, who was it? Somebody sent me a story. Grillin' Pirate Pete.
Ah, there you go. It's not the same one, is it?
Yeah. Oh, okay. You. This is the one you read. This is the one you read. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just now noticed it. My mentions are blowing the heck up.
They are.
Yeah, it's because I got mentioned into some video list that somebody gave. What's her name? Barbara for you to see, or somebody, you know.
Oh yeah. There was a meme that was made, and it had like you, me, Ghost Poo, Lords of the Night, and it was included in her video.
My mentions were blowing up after that, so I'm having a hard time keeping up with it. Sorry, guys. I can't do two things at once anyway. I can drink unsweetened tea if I'm in the mood for it. My mom always drank unsweetened tea, but she was diabetic. So Maddie says DM. Oh my gosh, you guys are really putting me to the test, aren't you? You're making me dual task. If you're interested in reading on, okay, it's about the hold on a second here.
What have you got?
So this is what's happening. This is from Maddie, Madwoman Muse. You know her.
Oh, of course I do.
This is what's happening. The problem is the lack of knowledge on how sole proprietorships, corporate chains, and franchises works. It's easy to say just pay them $15. It's not so easy when you realize all that a business has to do to maintain a bottom line. Absolutely. And there's a very long thread. I would read it, Maddie. I'm not against reading it, but we're getting so close to the end of the stream that I'm not sure I've got time here. But yeah, take a look at her Twitter. She had a thread from looks like January 31st. So look at her timeline, and there's a very good explanation about yeah, boy, I'm stumbling all over the place. There's a very good explanation about minimum wages and why it's not such a good idea. So yeah, thanks, Maddie.
Oh dear. I've just been sent an article via my Discord.
Yeah.
And this is coming from Kotaku, which is of course in line with The Root and Jezebel. And it's attacking gaming. Sadly, it's surprising that there are 2 black women in Apex Legends. What? What are you moaning about? Oh my god.
I haven't tried Apex yet. I've been hearing a lot about it. Doesn't look like the kind of game that really tickles my fancy. But
I've tried it. I suck at games like that, dude. I'm just
So is it like Fortnite or similar to Fortnite? That's the picture I'm getting.
It's a battle royale game. It's based on Titanfall, so it has like all the Titanfall like lore weapons and all shit like that. Right. But yeah, you dive in at the start. There's like a fucking like 60 players or something like that. You go in teams of 3. You can choose your character. They all have like different powers and stuff like that. Basically, I'm not any good at it at all. I've tried it. I suck at it. I'm not playing it again. Loading up Apex Legends for the first time, I saw 2 black women as playable characters. It was a strange and arresting feeling to see them. I'm still trying to understand my feelings about it. Oh my God, really? You asked for this, and now you're complaining about it. I'm usually quite wary of falling into what my co-worker Riley McLeod calls the diversity trap, which is to say giving a game a lot of credit simply for doing the bare minimum. I know what most companies are in the business of making money. While having diverse casts may meet some altruistic goals, it also could open up the appeal of that media product to more people who will spend money on it. Apex Legends, the Battle Royale game from development studio Respawn, is a free-to-play game, but it does have loot boxes, and if you want, you can use real money to buy more loot boxes. Because of that, I can understand why someone might be cynical about the game's visibly diverse cast. Still, the game has a diverse cast, and you can tell from the first glance. There's a character who is a Pacific Islander, multiple women, men of varying races and body shapes, and in an achievement that few games can boast, there are 2 black women. In fact, you have to play as one of them in the tutorial mission, during which you go through the basic moves as the support character Lifeline. As soon as I completed that mission, I went and queued up for a game with my friend Julian and my other co-worker Paul. I then selected the other black woman, the rough and tumble soldier Bangalore. Like Overwatch, the stated backstories of these characters don't matter much when you're actually in the fray. Bloodhound, who has been confirmed by the developers to be a non-binary, doesn't say, I don't fit into the binary definition of gender when they kill someone. Well, why would they? They just killed someone. Oh my God. Nor does Gibraltar, whom the developers have said is gay, talk about how he is gay while you play as him. That's because it's a battle royale game, not a friggin' RPG. Oh my God. Still, there's something nice about a game where I can run into other players who have chosen a character who isn't white, straight, cis male. Why does this fucking matter to people? I don't know. When I played with Julian and Paul last night, almost every single team had someone playing as Bangalore, since her airstrike ability can be devastating and great for flushing out squads. Just seeing those characters and knowing those small lore details about them does actually make a difference to me. So what are you complaining about then? It makes me want to explore more of the game and its systems, spend more time in the world, and figure out how to be even better at it.
How does it matter what race and sex the character you're playing in the video game is, and how does that make you want to explore more?
I don't know.
I call BS.
You know, when you get a game, the race of the people, or you know, their sexuality or what they identify as, isn't really a defining characteristic for me. Graphics, gameplay.
Exactly. I've been playing video games since there were video games. I was in on the ground floor. My generation were in on the ground floor of video games, guys. And I have never once in my entire life cared what sex or race the character I was playing was. It never mattered to me.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't to me either. It really doesn't. Yeah, even though I grew up in a predominantly white area, it just didn't matter to me at all. It still doesn't. It reveals and then invalidates my innate fear of playing competitive games. So having like non-binary, mixed race, black characters takes away your anxiety about playing competitive games, does it? That's retarded. I was made fun of so much as a kid and a teenager for looking the way I do, being mixed raced, being a girl, and liking the things I like. Seeing characters that look like me, not just one, but two, being played and embraced by the community makes me feel like I won't be made fun of for my core identity. I might just get made fun of for not being good at the game, and that's something I can change with practice.
Sweetheart, you do realize that games are not real life. What you do in a game is not going to affect in the least what happens to you in real life. Oh, gosh. There's all kinds of stupid here, Bear. Where did you get this?
I was sent this by a couple of people in my Discord just now. No, I'm a mixed race guy, right? And I know a lot of, especially Americans, are like, but you look white, Yeah, well, not over here, I don't. That topic was brought up a few times throughout my childhood. My mum's quite dark-skinned, half-caste. I'm one quarter, as you know. When I watch a movie, when I watch a TV show, when I watch an anime or when I play a game, the race and sexuality of that character would only ever be important if that character was written as such for like an RPG.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
If it's important to the storyline, then okay. But otherwise, it doesn't matter. And it's never mattered to me. I have never chosen a character because they were white. I've never chosen a character because they were black. I've never chosen a character because it was a man.
Yeah. I choose the characters in games like that based on what they can do.
Exactly.
Because all the characters in Apex all have special abilities,
right,
and various powers and stuff, and they can all do different things. And you should be choosing your character based on your play style.
Yeah, exactly. That's that's the stupidest thing I ever.
It's fucking retarded. Like the only time that you should really be getting annoyed is if they purposely change the race, gender, and sexuality of a character that it originally like was.
Yep.
Because there's no need for it 9 times out of 10.
Real quick, I'm going to back up a little in chat and answer some questions that come across while you were reading that, and then I'm going to get to story time.
Yay!
RJ Bandsma asked, which retired NASCAR driver would you like to have a convo with? And our flat earthers crazy as fire truck. Answer to your last question first. Yes. The first question, it's going to be a name that a lot of race fans today probably don't know, Harry Gant. And I've actually did meet Harry at one point and got to sit in his race car way back in the day when I worked at a dealership. There was more here. Bansman also says the next generation Ford Ranger looks like a mini Super Duty. That's interesting. I'll have to take a look at them. What else was there? Was something else there and I'm missing it. I'm sorry, guys, if I missed your post during that. Jen says, remember my last art character? I'm still not sure what that was. Jen, neither am I. Honestly, I'm not sure what you were going for there. Yeah. So, Bandsma, Harry Gant was actually one of my first favorite drivers with his old Skull car, the green and white Skull car. Yeah, I loved Harry Gant. So story time. And this was the story I was going to tell the other day, but then forgot what it was I was going to talk about. It has to do, we've done some discussion in recent times of MMOs, and you're thinking about playing an MMO and this, that.
I purchased Black Desert.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
I've heard some about it. I don't know a lot about it, so I can't tell you whether you're going to have a good time or a bad time.
I would not describe it as an MMO.
Oh?
No. It doesn't really fit the criteria to be an MMO. It's much more like an online hack and slash where you do a lot of you can very much play on your own.
Yeah, well, a lot of MMOs are just hack and slash.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. But
many of them are, but there's variations of, not all are, but many of them are. But this does have to do, and it actually deals with J Kid, has to do with the MMO that we used to play together back in the day. You've heard me mention one called Anarchy Online, which was a science fiction type thing. And in this, like with most, if Monkey were here, he played a lot of WoW. He could tell you, like with most MMOs, there are areas in the game that, as this level of character, you're not going to go to, because even though an MMO is basically level specific. I mean, an open world. A lot of the areas are level specific. You know that if you're at level 5, this is the area you're going to be in because that's the level of monsters you can handle. Then as you level up a while, you move to this area and you know what that area is going to be because it's all pretty much the same. And Anarchy Online was no different. And I think it was at level 14. Most people went to a place called the Temple. We just called it the Temple. Now, you didn't have to go to the temple at level 14. You could level up in the area outside of the temple. But everybody went to the temple because there were no less than 4 bosses inside the temple. And there was at least a half a dozen pieces of unique weaponry and armor that could not be gotten anywhere else but inside the temple and were critical to playing your character well at that level. Okay. So everybody went. Now, there were several instances of the temple so that they could keep it flowing, right? But you would come up outside and all of them would be full. I mean, there'd be hundreds of people waiting outside the door, waiting to get in, trying to get in. And the temple didn't cut you any slack. I mean, from the moment you got inside, you were in a fight. Just inside the door, there's mobs everywhere. And they're just barely beatable for your level, right? Just barely. And the deeper in the temple you get, the harder it was. And you could level up several levels in the temple. Like I said, there was at least 4 major bosses. They respawned on 15, every 15 minutes. And you would, once you got to those areas with your team, you didn't want to take a boss on without a team. You would wait for it to pop, and the team that done the most damage to it got the right to loot it and get that unique gear, right? So if you didn't get it that time, you'd sit around for another 15 minutes, wait for it to repop.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. The big trouble with the temple was it only had one way in and one way out. You had to get out the same way you got in. So as you get in, it's you know, appropriate for this level. But as you get further and deeper and get to the very end of it, you've leveled up quite a bit, and the mobs back there are way stronger than the mobs at the beginning of the temple. But when you go to leave, you have to leave the same way you came in. And a lot of people, because it was level restricted to a certain level range, would stay in there instead of leave for a while. You know, would just stay in there beating stuff and leveling, because if they left, they knew they couldn't get back in. So anyway, I explained all this to explain that the only way to leave is through the front door. Well, you could fight your way back to the front door. That's going to take days. Literally days. So most people just voted for making a mad dash for the door. Running as fast as they could. We called that the temple train.
The temple train.
Yeah, everything in there was aggro. So you would, you know, get a lot of mobs following you out the door. Yeah. Which was usually death for the newbies just inside that had just got in. We're still fighting around the area of the door. Yeah. Because once you run out the door, all those mobs are looking for something to kill, and you're it. So anyway, I'm in there with one character or another. And like I've told you before, I'm an altaholic. I'm always making more characters. That's why
you probably like Black Desert Online, because you can have multiple characters as well.
Get me a game like that. I will spend forever making character after character. I just have to. I can't help myself.
It's really cheap, actually, Bloodwing.
But at any rate, J-Kid and I played this game together, and he was a little bit higher level than I was, and I knew he was in the temple and in the same instance I was, and I was fairly low level. I just got in the door. Okay.
Yeah.
Zero the Hero says, what game is this? It's called Anarchy Online, and as far as I know, it's still available, although it's pretty dated by now. This game's like, what, 15 years old at least? Maybe older? Anyway, I'm low level, just level like 14, I think it was. You could get in there, and I'm just got in the door, so I'm fighting at the beginning area. And I see this shout come over. This is back in the days before voice, any programs were viable for voice chat. So everything's text, right? You type into one another. And I see this post come up with exclamations in all caps saying, choo choo. And I look, and it's J-Kid. I'm like, and at first it didn't get me. I'm like, what? What? And then I posted like real loud back to him, this is in the area chat where everybody can see it in that area. It's like shouting. And I said, what? And he come back again with choo choo. And I look up just in time to see him running by. And he's running like his head is on fire and his butt's catching, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And running by, and right behind him, I swear he must have aggroed every mob in the temple, including some of the bosses. There's this huge robot doll that's 3 stories tall that's chasing him. That's supposed to be like in the back of the temple. I think he purposely ran around and aggroed everything he could before he ran for the door.
I like that. That's fucking great.
So it didn't strike me at first, but he's trying to tell me the train's coming through. And he just runs straight for the exit and right out. And then everybody in the area was smashed. So there's my gaming story with J-Kid. He's such a troll. He never admitted to doing it on purpose, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, that sounds like something he definitely did on purpose. It sounds like he ran in there, had a crack at everything, then just ran back out again.
The temple train. That was a flaw design. They really should have put a back door. Once you've made it to the back and you're with the high level stuff, you should have been able to get out there instead of making you have to return back to the front door. But they didn't. But yeah, the temple train. You would just have to envision it. I mean, I looked up and there's like hundreds of these video game mobs. And of course, with all that in the same room with you, your PC just slows down to a crawl, right? Just
yeah.
Choo choo. But
well, we come to the final minute of the live stream, so I'm going to take a moment to shill. Guys, yesterday on the R8 Alex channel, I created a brand new video regarding Steve Irwin and the Peter tweet. It's right there if you want it. And over the weekend, I also released a video regarding Anime Gate on the R8 Bear channel, which I'll link for you in just a moment. It's been denied monetization, but it is 30 minutes long. And I did spend a very long time researching and recording and putting it together. So if you want to check that out, there's the video for that as well.
Yep. There you go. But yeah, I hope everybody liked the story. It was funny to me anyway. I know not everybody out in the chat is a gamer, but if you are, and if you've ever played any MMOs, you can think of a similar situation. You can relate. You understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting down in we're actually at the last minute. You've already done your shilling. Thank you, chat, for coming out. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the support, the likes and the shares and all of that stuff. You guys are great. You guys are awesome. Thank you for coming out. Thank you, Bear, for being with us as usual.
Not a problem.
And as always, get out of my yard.
Bye, guys.